Hi, I'm Kathy with the Geothermal Energy Association. I'm the Director of Events, Marketing, and Membership for GEA. Hey Carl, what is your education and career backgrounds?
Well, I attended Humboldt State University and studied journalism and political science and natural resources. And I've worked for the Sierra Club for 23 years, and I've been with NRDC now for 1 year.
How did you get into the geothermal business, and what first interested you in geothermal?
Well, I'm actually in sort of an advocacy position for renewable energy more broadly. I'm interested in and supportive of geothermal. I work for an environmental organization, so I don't actually work for a geothermal energy developer. In the advocacy side of things. I'm trying to help establish the policies and the environmental procedures that help get these projects developed.
And what do you consider to be your career highlights?
Well, I think one of the career highlights I had actually happened fairly early in my career, and we were able to pass the Clean Air Act amendments in 1990. It was an extremely important milestone and laid the groundwork for some of the climate work that we're doing today. It's going to help reduce the number of coal-fired power plants there are in the western United States and indeed across the rest of the country, and provide some of the opportunity for renewable energy resources like geothermal energy. We've worked on a number of public lands issues over the years, both in wilderness preservation, wildlife conservation things, as well as energy issues. I've had a number of successes in terms of areas being protected and being preserved for future generations, that kind of thing. But I think some of the most important work I've been doing is in the last 4 or 5 years. I'm trying to solve issues around renewable energy transmission, trying to find the right places to put these projects and put the transmission so that they can be built and get the resources, the renewable energy resources, online at a pace that makes a difference for climate change.
So what has changed about the renewable energy industry since you started your career?
Well, I think one of the major things that's happened is that the country and the world has become more aware of the challenge of climate change, and the imperative to develop these resources has become widely accepted. We've seen giant leaps and bounds in the deployment of renewable energy resources all over the world. And here in the United States, we've been leaders in many ways, but certainly other countries have also been leaders in renewable energy deployment too. So we've seen a major policy shift, a major area of concern among the American people, strong majorities of which support mitigating the effects of climate change, avoiding future impacts, and also large majorities in support of renewable energy deployment and development. I think that's been a major change. We've seen the industries grow dramatically as a result, and I think it's truly one of the great opportunities of my lifetime to be able to be part of that and watch it happen in a way where renewable energy industries were cottage industries for many years. Now we're talking about major economic powerhouses across the world, generating many billions of dollars in revenues, billions and billions of dollars in investment, thousands and thousands of jobs in many different industries, I might add. So, I think that's the biggest change in the last 4 or 5 years. The renewable energy industry has really come into its own in ways that it hadn't before.
And what would you say to students or people that have already started their careers that are looking to get into the renewable energy business or the geothermal business specifically? What would you say to them would be good steps for them to take to get involved in the industry?
Depends on what their strengths are and what their interests are. I'd say people within an engineering background should really be focusing on technological improvements in these spaces in terms of geothermal in the process and in the deployment of technologies to take advantage of lower temperatures. This would be a great space for engineers to go into. In the policy and finance arenas, there's all kinds of opportunity, both in terms of federal or state legislative platforms or investment platforms and business models for financing projects. I think the sky is the limit, depending on what your interest is. If you care about environmental issues or global warming and climate change and you're concerned about that, there's a whole field of endeavor now to help people find the good sites to put projects, to help them avoid the mistakes in siting that could cost tens of millions of dollars to a developer trying to put a project in the right place. So I think that depending on what people's areas of interest are or strengths, there's roles for people in almost any discipline to play.
Thank you.
You're welcome.